All right, let me tell you a story, one that's older than the Bible, older than the pyramids. It's a story about gods and men, one that entails the devastating floods. And when you start to connect the dots, it sounds eerily similar to the legends of the Nephilim. This is the story of Gilgamesh, king of Uruk.
But he wasn't just any king. He was two-thirds god and one-third human. Imagine that for a second. Not fully mortal, not fully divine, but something in between. And depending on which ancient text you read, he was also massive in size, a warrior, a ruler, and possibly one of the last remnants of a forgotten race.
Now here's where it gets interesting. Gilgamesh wasn't alone. His greatest companion, his only true rival, was a being named Enkidu.
Enkidu wasn't born like other men. He was created by the gods, shaped from clay, and placed in the wild to roam with the beasts. He was covered in hair, immensely strong and untamed, almost like a throwback to an earlier time, a time when monstrous beings still walked the earth. The first time these two met, it wasn't friendly.
Gilgamesh and Enkidu clashed in a battle that was so powerful, it shocked and sent shockwaves all the way through the city.
But instead of one killing the other, they stopped. They looked at each other and something changed. They realized they were the last of their kind, warriors unlike anyone else. And so instead of enemies, they became brothers. Now at this point, they could have just ruled Uruk together, but no, Gilgamesh wanted more. He wanted a challenge. He wanted to carve his name into history. And that's when they set their sights on Humbaba, the monstrous guardian of the Cedar Forest. Now, here's where it starts sounding really familiar. Humbaba wasn't just some random enemy. He was a giant, an ancient being placed by the gods to protect the sacred forest from mortals. His face was terrifying, his voice thunderous, and his very presence struck fear into anyone who dared approach. Think about it, an ancient giant placed by the gods as a guardian. Doesn't that sound a lot like the stories of the Nephilim, the powerful hybrid beings from Genesis and the Book of Enoch who were wiped out by divine decree? But Gilgamesh and Enkidu weren't afraid. They marched into the Cedar Forest and challenged the giant himself. And let me tell you, this wasn't an easy fight. The earth shook beneath them. The trees trembled at Humbaba's power. He was a remnant of a forgotten age, and he fought like it. But in the end, they won. Gilgamesh and Enkidu severed the giant's head, a trophy to prove their dominance. And in that moment, they thought they had won. But they had no idea what they had just done, because the gods weren't happy. Humbaba wasn't just some monster, he was their enforcer. Killing him was an act of defiance, and for that they had to pay. Enkidu was cursed and eventually died. And Gilgamesh, he was forced to confront his own mortality. Maybe we're looking at distorted memories of something real, something that was wiped out. But one thing's for sure, our ancestors believed these beings existed. And maybe, just maybe, they were right. What do you think? Could the giants of Gilgamesh be connected to the Nephilim? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into ancient mysteries, make sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, keep searching for the truth.